Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome back. So, welcome back to yet another stream. Hope you all having a good day. Today we are back again, and I have some time, so I thought, okay, I'll stream, and we'll continue working on the image upload application that we have been working on last couple of days, I suppose. I think I had 2 sessions of it, so I think I had 3 sessions of it. So yesterday was a very good productive session. We learned quite a bit of how your Node.js works. We did a little bit of good amount of work here where we create an upload. We created an endpoint which accepts a file and uploads it to an Azure server. Sorry, Azure storage Azure Blob Storage, and it generates a pre-signed URL using your Blob SAS model and things like that, which basically says that okay, now it's a signed URL for any client to directly work and connect with. Sorry, connect with, and you can download the image, right? So, sorry. So in here, what we are going to do here is that I felt we need a couple of changes here. The first change which I feel we need, sorry, I hope that was not too loud. Someone is speeding past, but yeah. The first thing I wanted to first check is, okay, so let's actually get the servers up and running. Okay, so I realized my font for this thing might be a little bit low, so yeah. But yes, feel free to say hi on the chat if you're watching me. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. So yeah, cool. I think we can get started. So the first thing what I'm gonna do here, is that I have to, I think it's called setup. Okay. So this is from, I believe, is from Droplet. Docker. Do I have a make file in here? No, so I have to do more scripts. Okay, so Docker compose -f stack down make setup, and in here once you do a make setup, I believe sorry, it brings up your the local blob storage server, right? The local blob storage server. So in here I can quickly go and I can check this. So I don't have it. I'm just gonna create this thing here, which is called image upload. Sorry, I hope that was not too loud. And yeah. Okay, so here's the next thing. Here are a couple of things. So let's actually start working on the application and see if we need to change anything, right? So here we can run the app. npm run dev. Oh, we cannot do that. So node modules dot bin node mon server dot js. Okay, So injecting environment from blah 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 and all of that. Okay, cool. So if I upload this file, it's gonna fail, so I'm just gonna remove this for now, and I'm gonna upload a file which is a good one. I suppose this is a good one. Yeah, suppose it's a good one. And in here, if I okay, so I don't think so this is a good one. I'll tell you why. So this is a better one because this does not have any extension. This does not have any extension. So if I load this one up, it has an extension. If I send this, it gives you the this thing, the URL right here. And what I can do is I quickly have to install Tmux and get it set up. Working with two windows on Alacrity is pretty bad, so I have to get Tmux set up somehow. Okay, so I can just go to downloads and let's look at what happened on this thing in here. So you have this file, but the file doesn't have any extension. That's a big problem. The file doesn't have any extension. So if I do rm019, yeah. So if I do this part, it's gonna download it, but it's gonna download in this particular name. Right? But that is not correct. So that is not kind of correct. So yeah, that's not kind of correct. Even in fact, like let me get it again and open this guy, and it opens correctly, but we have to rename the file into something else. Right? So what I'm gonna do right now is curl b this thing in here. Okay, I think it is yeah, okay. So if you look at the response this things here in here, it gives you XMS creation, content type, e tag. It doesn't quite give you something called content disposition and caching. That is something I do want to solve right away. Okay, so that is something I do want to solve right away. And before that, I was looking at yesterday's thing and I probably messed it up. Yeah, so if you do this in here, I do want to return. Okay, and along with that, in my blob service, when you're creating the blob SaaS model, I want some kind of content disposition and caching. Okay, so let's look at that. My bad. So if I look at this thing in here, it accepts this, and in here it has all of those. So you have content disposition. Okay, so let's actually go here. We have content disposition, which is a string. So let's actually learn how content disposition works. Content disposition header MVN. Sorry. Okay. The HTTP content disposition indicates whether content should be displayed inline in the browser as a web page or part of the web page or downloaded as an attachment locally. In a multi-part body, the header must be used on each subpart to provide information about its corresponding field. The subpart is delimited by the boundary defined by content type header used by okay. When used on the body itself, the content disposition has no effect. The content disposition header indicates whether the content should be displayed inline in the browser as a web page or the part of the web page are downloaded as an attachment. Okay. So content disposition can be inline, it can be attachment, and this is the more important thing where I can say it's a file name. Okay, it's a file name. So in here, what I personally feel is that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say image.jpg. Now I'm going to do image.jpg and just be done. Okay. Yeah. So in here, I'm going to say content disposition is basically attachment and name equals image dot. I cannot say this. So in here, I have to do some sort of thing, right? Okay. So let's create a function. Um, extension from MIME type. Return. Um, so I'm gonna split this on this. I'm gonna return this guy to lowercase. I don't think we have to, do this thing. So we can simply do this and MIME type. Cool. That is one thing, and I believe there's also caching informations, right? So there's also caching information which has this thing. So let's look at cache control, how it works. So we have it right here. Okay. The HTTP cache control header holds directive instructions in both request and response, that blah blah blah. So you can give in multiple directives exactly what I want to give. So this is what I feel is important. So I can say max age, and yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna say implementation that holds request and response are using a subsequent request. It can either be a shared cache or a private cache and all of that. Yeah, so I want to look at this direct max age, and what I feel like is we can actually cache it for what is s max age? S max age. Actually, this is in the response. Okay. Um, yeah, so we're gonna give max age, and we're gonna say max age equals mm, max. Sorry, cache control is. I'm sorry for that background noise. Yeah, I hope it was not too loud. It keeps on dropping frames here and there, which I am not very sure why the Wi-Fi keeps going up and down. Airtel sucks. That's true. You cannot get anything working correctly. Yeah. So okay. So you can go to 30 days. 30 days has 24 hours each, which has 60 minutes each, which has 60 seconds each. So it has to be this guy. Okay. Max age equals this thing. You can actually cross check if I did it correct. Days to seconds. So it has to be 30 days. And yeah, that's correct. 2592 and then 6, so 300, 300. Yeah, that is good. Cool. I think we are good in here. Hmm. So we are good in here, right? And yeah, I suppose we should be good now. Okay, should be good now. There's a comma missing here. That is fine. So we gave the content disposition, which is basically saying, okay, download it as an attachment, and the cache control, which is saying, okay, you cache it for 30 days, so you don't have to always go to the server. Okay, so I suppose this is already, yeah, this is already this thing. So if I do this, something went wrong. Awesome. So what exactly went wrong? It doesn't quite say what went wrong. Shouldn't it be saying console log something went wrong? Yeah, shouldn't it be saying this? Because if I'm throwing this error, this is where it should go back. Sorry. And return this back. So why it didn't say? So what I quickly want to do is console.log, and I want to delete this thing in here. I'm really sorry. I hope there is not a lot of background noise. There's cooking going on in the background, and okay. Just okay. So, anyways, coming back to the problem of why it's saying something went wrong. Okay, does it say what went wrong? Okay. It cannot read the properties of undefined. I know why. Also, why didn't I actually log issue here? Because this has to be this. That's why. But I suppose now it should be good. Okay. So you have this URL. I'm going to take this URL and pull this thing. So binary output can mess up your terminal. To talk or output to the terminal anyway, or consider output file to save it to a file. Okay. But let's look at those things. So it gave a content type, it gave a e tag, cache control it gave me. Sorry, it gave me a content disposition. So that is why it was trying to do this thing. So output image.png. Cool. It actually, I feel, downloaded in image.png. Sorry, and this is good. This is good, right? So content disposition is specifically for the browser. This is my client who has to explicitly say that. Okay, so I guess your this thing has to explicitly say that, you know, this thing is this. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's now see how exactly am I going to what I was trying to figure out is that there are a couple of things that I want to make the change. So previously what we discussed was that we have an arrow from here to here, which is like upload, and then we also have this thing here, which is like download. My point here is that why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this, right? I don't think we have to do this part. What we can do instead is this shares back the URL or the location itself. And in fact, what I can do is not send back anything, and I can just send back, okay, 2.1 created. In the response header, the location is already given. So I'm going to change that first. Okay, I'm going to change that first, and I don't have to send anything. When I say this thing, say there is no body. Sorry, there is no body. If you look at the headers, it explicitly says this is the location, right? And so this will make me actually work on the this will actually make me you know, the download stuff more easier, because I am going to remove this. Okay, I'm going to remove this blob storage. This is Azure Blob Storage right here. So this downloads from here. Okay, and the download can simply go through here. The download can simply go through here. And when you share the URL, it basically gives you the URL, which is like your pre-signed URL, and you can directly give this access. So your container is not a container is private. Your container is private, but your blobs are public by default. Okay. Yeah, cool. So I think that is what we are going with, and we'll move forward with that. So I think the backend is already done. There is nothing much to be worked here. I'm just trying to think if I missed something in here. I don't think I missed something in here. Yeah, I don't think I missed something in here. So I guess let's quickly. So in here, okay, that is fine. No new line, but that's fine. We added the disposition and cache control. That is correct, and we removed this part. And we also removed sending any body, and that's fine. Refine the backend. Okay. 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 Cool. That is good, I suppose. Let's move forward now. Let's move forward. Now we have to start working on this kind of stuff. We have to start working on this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking how we can do it correctly. So, let this be. And in here, npm create feed at the latest. I think that is what we have to do. Front end, it's gonna call that front end. It's gonna be React. I'll use TypeScript for this part. Okay. Okay. Along with that, I believe that I will also Okay, so if I go to image upload, there should be front end, and yeah, let's open this up. Cool. I don't want this readme, so maybe I can delete the readme from here. Okay, maybe I can delete the readme from here. Okay. I am sorry for that, but yeah. Okay. Back at it again. Back at it again. Okay, so let's quickly see if this is working fine or not. And I think, yeah, so this should be fun. Okay, cool. So the question here is, how do I start working on this? How do I start working on this, right? So first thing I'm going to tackle is 1280p X cutoff. Then I'm going to go for 124. This is most likely the tab view. And then I'm going to go for a mobile view. Okay. And I'm probably again going to use shadcn to do all of this. I don't know. The only reason why I'm thinking of doing a shadcn part is because so these things are pretty simple, but I was thinking of a toaster of any errors of some sort. That kind of gives me an opportunity to have a toaster, but maybe I can learn how to create a toaster in plain JavaScript. So for now, I'm not going to add shadcn. I'm just going to go ahead and start working on this. Okay. So the first thing here is, I think, yeah, not design, but if I go to resources, I will be having a couple of resources, which also has a fab icon. Yeah, which also has a fab icon, which I don't know if it's okay to use that. Okay, let's copy all of them. Mm, at public. Cool. So if I look at this, there's a download option. If I look at this, this is this. Okay. Link is this. Lower SVG is this. Lower small. Moon fill. Sun fill. Feet. So we don't need feet. So we can nuke that. I believe we also don't need this fab icon. And I'm gonna delete that as of now. Okay. Okay, so this thing becomes inverted. Yeah, this thing becomes inverted. So that is one thing I have to work with in here. Because if I look at the logo, it's just this. And if I just try to see which path it is, somewhere down the line, it should tell me what is the fill color. So yeah. So this can be passed through. This can be passed through, is what I feel. Let's see. Let's see how we can do that. But even before that, what I feel is if I look at the lower small, um, this thing can easily be used as a ICO, right? So svg to ICO. Can I just drag and drop the file? Okay. Why is it showcasing like this? Not sure. Also, it's giving some kind of sound. Can you shut up the sound? Audio bell. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. And we have that. So you have the psycho file. And what I'm going to do is open up index.html. And I'm going to say this is lower small this thing. Okay. And this has to be image load. And pretty much it. Right? Pretty much it. I have to configure Node.js for this thing to work correctly. So 125. And okay. Okay, cool. Okay, next thing what I have to do is I have to go to assets. And I'm gonna delete this guy. I'm gonna delete this asset altogether. Delete the max, which is 1280px. This is, I think, correct thing. Not sure. Let's see later on. So nuke this guy. And this thing is simply here. You can say hello world. Okay. And you can go here. Color scheme is light dark. This is this background color is this. So that's got a lot of stuff going on in here. I'm not sure if you need it. I'm not quite sure if you need it. Let's see. And you have this. Okay, cool. And I think we should be good. Okay, so you have a hello world with some kind of padding and stuff, so I can just go here and remove this. Let's say it's a p tag, and then it's a p tag in here, and that should, it still has the border. That was not the div. Okay. So let's go to index.cs and let's be done. Yes. So in here, HTML body, I'll say margin 0. Box body box sizing is border box auto, and that's pretty much it. Hmm. Okay. So I suppose we can start working on, you know, getting the backgrounds and all of that. Yeah. Hmm. Sorry. First thing first, I have to get this. So let's actually get this font. I want embedded stuff, and I think there are two things in here which I don't need. Hmm. So how can I remove? Yeah, so I can remove this. Get the import, and you get this in here. Go to index.css, and yeah, that's all. Okay, font family is this thing. Okay. So what is a regular font size that you're looking at? Now, the regular font size you're looking at is semi bold, is basically like 10 px. Yeah, take it. We'll see. We'll see. For now, that should be good. Okay, I suppose in here you need some sort of a height. So let's just make it components. Okay, so let's create a header. Let's actually start with this. Let's actually start. So you need a header. You need a header where you has to be uh where it's basically two different things, right? So uh, let's give it a div, and the first one is an SVG. And if I remember correctly, the way to import that particular SVG is import logo from uh, so in here I think I have to do logo.svg, and there has to be an image in which this is this, and I say this. Yeah, I mean that makes sense because of the fact that your background is in a mess. But I think there was a color picker that I created in here. Color picker. Okay. So I gotta see what is the color in here. F9 FAFC. Okay. Look, colors. Let me actually remove the dark mode so it doesn't mess up my stuff in here. F9 FAFB. Isn't that not what it mentioned? F9 FAFC. So in here, I'm gonna just say root. I'm gonna say light, uh, light, and background color is Selector matches unknown light elements. So can I just do it this way? This has to be at the top. Makes sense. So let's ask ChatGPT a question. How do I define the namespace light dark inside root so that I can switch colors depending on the HTML class light dark dark. Yeah, let's see what it says. Font family line height font width. Okay, I want color indicate support color themes. Okay, says the default colors, and then there's font synthesis, control synthetic fonts, bold italic, text rendering optimizes text legibility, improve font rendering on WebKit and Firefox browsers. Okay, so maybe I put this. Okay, and then this. Just that, and in here let's put out the colors. Background color is your this thing. We can put this up in here, I suppose. Does this work? Still seems to be working. Well, if I don't put this, it still works. I don't have to put this, it seems. Okay, anyways. So anyways, in here, HTML light, I quickly want to see how ShadCN does it, because it seems like that works fine. So if I go to UI and let's just go to index CSS. So you have all these kind of things. Custom variant dark is blah blah. I don't know what that means, but okay, it means something. So you have root, which says all of these things, and then inside dark you have all of these things, which is a separate thing. Okay. So it seems like there are multiple directives in CSS. So declare a cascading layer and also define the order of precedence in case of multiple cascading layers. Okay. Yeah, let me just do it in that way. I'm just gonna say dark. That's all. Okay, cool. And in here now, still the background is this. Hmm. So in here, I'm gonna say background color is this. Good, good. Header height is 50 px. After that, we do have a line, some sort. So we're gonna pick that color. It has to be this. So I guess it's called accent. Hmm. And you have those kind of things, but that's fine. We will figure those out. So you have this. Then you can have um, another image. Can have the sun. Can have the moon from a file called moonfill. SV. And you can also have the sun from sun SV. So you have to have moon in changer. So what happens is this. Good, you have that, but this thing needs to be within a diff. This thing needs to be within a diff. This is where I think it's already time I can start extracting things out. Header.tsx. Okay, so in here, I'm gonna say function header, return this thing, and export default header. Okay, cool. Moon fill, and let's remove this for now. Oh, my bad. So it was logo. Cool. And in here, I'm just gonna export the header. Okay, and import header.css, and in here you can create a file, header.css. Cool. So class name is app header. I'm just gonna call it header. Class name is header container. Mm, Class name is logo. Class name is theme changer theme container. Not sure what to call. Class name email. Sorry. I guess this is how we're gonna go. Right. We can close this. We can close this, I suppose. In here, first thing you have is a header. So I'm gonna give it a height of this thing. And index.css needs to have a height of, I'm guessing 50 px for now. I'm guessing 50 px for now. Okay, cool. Border bottom is 1 px solid distinct, so that gives kind of that effect. I can give it 2 px, that gives kind of that effect too. Width has to be 100%. Okay, so I have to say margin 0 auto. Let's just give it 0. Yeah, does it look good? I think we have to double it down. So 100 px, 80 px. Okay, cool. So now the next thing that we want to do is the header container, right? Header container. What else? Display flex. Can't say flex directions column. Now we're talking. Let's say row. Yeah, okay. Width is 100%. Flex grow or something is 1, I think you have to say. I forgot. But I think justify content space between and align content, align items as center. So this didn't become center. So I'm just gonna do this as a center thing. Yeah, cool. And in here, I'm gonna give it a padding. Let's see how much padding it requires. It requires quite a bit of padding. So space, if I say space around, how does it work? Yeah, so let's give it a background color of red for now. It is full, but it's not thing. So let's say space between and padding right is almost 100 px, is it? We have to give it a margin right. And left is also 100 px. So we can see margin is 100 px, and then here margin left, and height of 100% of the parent. %50 of the parent. So 50% of the parent. I think that's fair enough. And let's just go back to 1. Okay. Cool. The next thing I have is logo. So height can be almost 24 pixels, and width can also be this thing. That didn't work. So let's say 100 pixels. That didn't work. Hmm. Uh, 0.5 RAM. 1.5 RAM. My bad. It's 2.5 RAM. So I'm gonna go with 1.8. This looks fairly good. If I give it a bit, it's it up. I'm just gonna give it this now. Okay. Also in here, I'll give this. Okay, cool. Now around this box, we need a theme container. So display is flex, and height is so let's say border is this thing. So the width is this, and we need to increase. Sorry if that's loud. Yeah, that's basically somebody working in our society right now. Yeah, this looks pretty good to me. Decent enough. I feel I have to give it a little bit more this thing. So yeah, that looks better. And border radius is, let's say, 2px. 5px? How about 10px? Yeah. And the background color has to be, do we have white? We have pure white. So you're gonna say secondary background color. Secondary background color. Cool. Theme icon. So this height is gonna be this. So align items center. Justify content center. Yeah. No, I think this is better. So dimension is 1.8 rem. Where dimension width. Sorry, that looks good. That looks good to me. How does it look? I feel it looks pretty much how it is here, and just that your height is maybe a little bit less. Again, I have to fix stuff. So I'm gonna go with 70. I think 70 is a good enough thing in here. Yeah, 70 is good enough, I think. Okay, cool. So now that we have done this part, okay, I'm streaming for almost an hour. I need a quick break, and yeah, I think we have done this part. And the second part, what I'm going to work on is this middle box thing that we have to work on, and then we have to try and bring in React Drop Zone, which is basically a utility library which helps you, um, you know, do stuff like dropping and fixing the files and things like that. This is a very simple UI, and I think the UI and this thing project can be done today. But let's see. Okay, cool. We'll be back soon. I'll take a quick break of 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hello, I am back. Hello. Okay. Oh, so yeah, let's continue working on it. Just 1 second. Okay. The weather is a little bit off. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot. Pretty weird weather. But okay. We are good to start now. Let's continue working on it. So this is what we have till now. This is what we have till now. And in here we have image upload. Yeah, because the title is image upload and all that. Okay. Cool. So this is what we have. Next thing, we will target this middle section right here. And for that, so I think the first thing we can do is switch. So let's actually get the. Should I work on the switch thing or should I work on uh, the center? I think let's get the entire application up and running and then we can work on things, right? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I think the header is good for now. Let's go to app.tsx and we can simply we don't have to probably create we can create a component. So let's just start working how we do, right? So you need a div in here, and why don't I call it main? So this is the main area. You first have to wrap it in fragments. Okay, so now in here I'm gonna start working on the div. Okay, cool. So you have the div, and after that, so this inside the main area, I think this is gonna be the div, right? Quickly want to see what happens when you do an upload. It's a little bit below the div what you have. Okay, that's fine. So let's go back here, and you have the div, which again I think I pick this color, it's again pure white. Yeah, it's again pure white, and this thing is dotted inside. So sorry, inside the div you have another div. So this div is the outer stuff, and let's actually keep I'm just gonna call it outer container, and this can be the inner container, right? So inside this you have the first this upload thing. So okay, image upload icon from so let's actually move everything here, logo, svg, this into something called assets. Okay, what is exit, by the way? Okay, so that's exit. Okay, so download, exit, link, logo. So let's move all the svgs to asset, and let's see if header.tsx. Okay, so header.tsx we have to do this, and assets. Is it working or it's broken? It's broken because why is it broken? Okay, because we cannot find that. So in here I think it's called exit svg, and let's quickly create an image with source exit upload icon, and is upload image. Failed to resolve asset logo or svg from does a file exist because it's assets. Still not good. What am I missing in here? What am I missing in here? Okay. So it cannot do this. I guess I have to give the path correctly. Yeah. One step up, one step. And I suppose, okay, cool. Cool. I think this is good. Next thing what I'm gonna do is, yeah, this thing is fine. Next, I want to say drag and drop a file or browse files. So let's give it this. And in here, I'm gonna say JPEG PNG. Can I copy this? There's something called content. Yeah. Okay. And you cannot see them because the text color is that. So let's see exactly how the text color is gonna be. The text color, I suppose, it's gonna be that this. Okay. So we can actually see that, and we can go to color pick. We can say pick the color. Okay, 181E2B. We have that color. No, we don't. But I suppose this is what the color is. This is what the color might be. Okay. So if I go to index.this thing, and if I say text color, so in here, color is this. I think that is what it's supposed to be. Yeah, I think that's what's supposed to be. Okay, let's actually start working on this thing where I can remove this, and in here, app.css. So this thing here is gonna be flex direction. It doesn't really matter what it is, or I can say center, align items center. Okay, so this came in. Cool, that is cool. Height is gonna be whatever your viewport is, but I have some sort of this thing, so I'm just gonna say, can it just take the parent height? Yeah, it cannot take in the parent height because parent height is not that. So okay, I have to think of something in here. Sure. Inner container. So again, display flex, but in here, I'm gonna say if I remember correctly, you say top is like 50%, left is 50%. Save that. Let's remove this everything. and then you transform this thing. Is it not? Center div without. I guess we can do flex. Display flex. What is up? Okay, so you have to do that. And that didn't work because of that. Yeah. So in here, min height can be min height can always be calculate 100 minus the same. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Awesome. It can always be this, and in index.css in my HTML, overflow hidden, and that basically removes the stuff. Okay, so if I go to this outer container in here, what I suppose I can do is border. If you look at this, it has some sort of a background color is secondary background color, and border radius is this, and we don't have a border radius, of course, so it can be 5px. I'm looking at that as to think. Okay, the height and width is a question, which I'm not sure how much is the height and width. So for that you have to go to this grid thing, but it's really not helpful. So let's just think of how we can do this part, right? Let's just think of how we can do this part. Um, I suppose we can do a little bit of. I wonder how this glossy thing is coming up. I wonder, but okay, we'll do that later on. So height is 100px, and width is a little bit bigger. So this, and that didn't work at all. So let's do 500px and 550px. This is too much, I feel. So it probably has to be 100. 400. Okay. And then this has to be like this. So this has to be. This has to be a 16 cross this thing, right? So how about 800 by 600? That's too big. 400. We gotta do math now. 16 by 9 is equal to x by 400. So x is 16 into 400 divided by 9. So I guess 750. Yeah, this I think looks better. This I suppose can be npx. Now the question is, how do I get this glossy effect? Not sure, but we'll see. So let's do this thing in here, and let's say this thing is like margin 20px border. So this is not it. So I gotta have dotted. So it's not the border color, the accent color. Okay. So display flex, justify content center, align center. So this becomes inside it. But this thing actually didn't work out as we thought it would. Neither did this. Let's keep it for now. And that didn't work. Dashed. Is that what you're looking for? I think this is what we're looking for. Dashed. Yeah, I think this is what we are looking for. And then it needs to be a little bit less height and all of that. So maybe let's make this 380 and 730. That kind of works. That kind of works, I would say. And the border radius has to be same. So, oh, it's already the same thing. So yeah, I suppose that is it. I suppose that is it. We can increase a little bit more and see. It's too much. So how do you do comments? Parent outer container dimensions minus 20px. I suppose that's how we're going to do it. Yeah. Now in here, I'm going to say display flex direction column. So this is where you get this thing here. Okay. And justify center, align item center. Okay, that brings in everything back to how we have. So question here is, this needs to be a little bit more heavy. This needs to be a little bit more heavy, right? So let's give it some spans. Okay, let's give it some span, and span. So till what it is, drag and drop a file or. Last name is drag drop text. I don't know how else to say, but that is how I'm gonna say this thing. So let's move this guy in here. Yeah. So this particular thing can go and say that, you know, font size is 14px. And font weight is bold. If I say it just becomes a little bit more bold than I want. So font weight can be 400, can be 600. Yeah. So I'm gonna take this as the main font, this thing. Yeah, so drag and drop or browse files. So before browse files, what I do wanna do is have non-byte space. I think that's how you do it. How come it didn't escape? Cool. Cool. How come it didn't escape this thing? So maybe do it in this way. And in here, you can give a span of browse file. So you give another span in. Okay. And for this, color is secondary text color. Right. We don't have that, and we can add this here, where we can go and say, okay, give me the color. (4770E5). I suppose this is what it is. So let's say this. And how does it look? Yeah. And the word spacing is a little bit much, which I don't like. So here what I'm gonna do is yeah. So maybe this goes a little light. Yeah, cool. I think that's fair. Okay. And below you say JPEG, PNG, or GIF. This thing has to be a little bit smaller. So maybe this is what I want. So, okay. Subtext. Sorry. So I think what we can do in here is last name text. Yeah, we can do it in this way. So let's say text font is this, and then for browse file span you have the color. For subtext, font size is 12 px, and font weight is, so let's give it a font weight also as the normal thing. So font weight is like 400. Did that make any change? Hmm. Okay, I think it made a little bit of change, but what I want to do is this inner container called, let's call it the logo container. Let's call it the container itself. Okay, so let's remove this and call it the container. Let's call it the outer container actually. Yeah. Yep. So this particular thing can be within a div, and we can call it logo container or icon container, and then in here we can say this is the text. Where is this? Okay, and in here yeah, so in the okay. Okay, cool. In the so I feel now it looks quite better. Only thing is font weight can be 400. So I think this can also be this. Maybe 200. Maybe 300. Yeah, and font size can be 12 pixels. Yeah, I think this is what we want. Hmm. And in the text container, flex column gap is 10 pixels. Justify center, align items center. Space evenly, space around. So let's just say flex start, and how do I, so let's ask this thing. How do I make sure that text and subtext is not that far? Meaning, reduce the gap between them. Let's see what it actually says. Okay, so you want me to remove um, this thing, okay, and give it a gap of 4 pixels. 1 pixel, whatever, 200 pixels. Yeah, so that seems to be working. That seems to be working. Is it? I feel that seems to be working. Yeah, that seems to be working fine now, I believe. Only thing is I need to increase this a little bit size. So what is the class name? Upload icon. So dimension is, let's say, 40 pixels. Height is this. Width is this. This is quite big. So what if I give 400? So yeah, so that works fine. So can I give 24? That is pretty small. So let's give it 50 pixels. I think 40 pixels is enough. Maybe 35. Yeah, 35 I think is good enough. This thing needs to go down a little bit more on the side. So the height I feel is okay, but the width maybe. But yeah, on this particular screen, I feel it looks good. I feel it looks good. Okay, cool. Next thing, what I do want. I think in here, I want to increase the gap a little bit, a slight touch of it. So the inner container, maybe can say the gap is 100px. If I do that, yeah. So in that particular case, this doesn't work. 20. I feel this is good enough. No, this is not. Yeah, I feel this is good enough now. Cool. So now that we have that, so now that we have that, what I do want to do is extract it out and start looking at how React dropzone works, because we have to do that thing. But before that, I think we can simply work on this gloss effect. For the outer container, how can I have a slight gradient border? Okay, let's see. So you have a border radius, but in here, can I just do this? In here, the text color, but there's also another color which is this. Let's just see if that works. I don't know how to call that, but see if it actually works fine. Works fine for me, I believe. No. So this color itself is okay. So that's not what we are going with. Accent color, but I don't want it to be solid. I want it to be, what can I have? That is function triangle. I don't know more for a matter of fact what it needs. But yeah. Anyways, coming back to the point of how can I give it this touch in here. This feel it needs that accent color, that's all. So if I give it 400, it's transparent. Border, CSS, options. It's from blah blah blah. I have to do outset. Is that what I have to do? Okay, time for ChatGPT to actually help out. See the glow or border um, slight effect on the outer div. How can I get that? This whatever I have here, just the background color. I mean, border color does not. Yeah, let's see what it has to say. You can get the soft glow by using a box shadow. I remember, it's a box shadow. I completely forgot that it's that. Okay. I'm gonna have to delete the stuff in here, and I want to say box shadow. So yeah, we have that, but we don't need this. I want to say this is this, and this here is accent color. What is crying about? Yeah. So what colors we have here? Maybe this is what I want. How's ChatGPT doing this? Mimics a subtle border without affecting the layout. Extra shadow layers with larger blur radius, which makes it glow. You do not need border outset. That's for 3D button effects. Okay. So maybe I say this, and then I give a comma, and this where I have 004px 0 4px and then 20px. I hope that was not too loud. Okay, this is what I have, I suppose. 04. Let's see if that works fine. That kind of works, I feel. And if I also give it a 0, yeah, this is what I exactly want. Mismatch property. How is it doing? I messed up something in here. I feel this is what I want. Yeah. So, cool. Copilot is turning out to be shit. Thank God I didn't pay for it. Okay. Now, next thing is, I would say it pretty much looks correct now. And now, what I would like to do is go ahead with the dark mode. So here is what I think is gonna happen. So let's first start with a theme provider, right? So I can have a context. Let's have a context, and in here I can say theme, and well, not that. Function theme context. I kind of forgot how to do that, so I'm gonna have to look it up here. I look at context. Yeah. How do you do that? So you create the context and then you create a provider which accepts the children, just like this thing in here. And yeah, okay. So const in context is equal to create context and interface in context type is something. So you have to create a context in context or not. So first we have to pass in and insert this thing in here, and we export below. So export in context. Okay, so now I'm gonna say theme provider props children React Node. I'll just say it here. So I'm gonna say function theme provider children return theme context dot provider like this, and then here you have to say children. Yeah, that's right. So here you have to provide the values, and the values has to be the same as whatever your context is, right? So values is basically this. Value. And in here, I have to do this. So in here, now, what can I do? I believe we can store the state. Yeah, we can store the state in here. Mm-hmm. So const use state. This can be a string, and this is light. And yeah, we can also do an use effect which says local storage dot get item name. If this is nothing that you get, you're gonna set the theme to light. You're gonna say local storage dot set theme. Uh, you always run this the first time you do a mount, and that's all. Don't have to run it any more time. Um, is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? Maybe not. Maybe not. So in here, you have the theme and the set theme. Okay, that's pretty much it. So in here, you have the theme which is string, and then you have the set theme which takes a string and then doesn't return back in. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty much it that you can have in. And yeah, cool. Right. Okay. So in here you can have hooks, which is hooks, and you can say use theme.ts. So you can simply say const use theme is this. So again, how do you do hooks? Let's quickly see. I forgot. You say use context when you pass in the context. So use context, and you pass in the theme context, which you import from here, and you say this is not null. Yeah. Export default. You have to do it in this way. No, cannot. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll do it in this way then. So whenever the first time you first load this thing up, this is where we need to set the theme. This is where we need to set the theme, right? So how do we do that? Const theme is use theme. So in a theme context, so if you look at the auth context in here, yeah, there's an use effect right here. There's a use effect right here. So similar thing I have to do in here. Use effect. So local storage dot get item. If you do not get anything back, local storage dot set theme. Else local storage dot get item. Well, we get it only once, right? So you can say theme. So if not theme, what you can say is you can simply do this or set theme. I always don't want to run whenever you have this thing, so yeah, I'm only gonna run it when you load it. When you load it up. Makes sense to me. So in here, actually, you do not have to set the theme anymore. You do not set the theme. No, you do have to set the theme, buddy. You do have to set the theme. do have to set the theme. This is kind of weird. I'm losing it. I feel so I'm losing it. So yeah, let's first go to main. Sorry. And wrap it around in theme provider. Inside here, you have the theme. What you do want to do is, again, here on mount, you want to run this, use effect, and you want to run this on mount, I believe. Window dot, not sure, HTML. How do you do that? So let's give it all context. So now, how do I make this work? And on toggle of the theme button, I want to switch things. And also on first load of application, I want to load up the theme according to the theme load in the according to the theme stored in the local storage or default light. Question is, how do I get a hook to the HTML itself, right? Because the HTML node itself, no, the HTML node itself, I don't have a reference here, so getting that is quite a bit the same. Apply the theme to the HTML element. Okay. I know. Okay, this is like a very stupid thing. So let's ask this guy. I don't need that. I need this. And I also need this. So at first load, I want to load light in, because if I'm not wrong, yeah, light mode. Throw this in the local store. For next login, it's always gonna be what user preferred next. How can I do this? Okay, so also let's give it the header. Context, and then oops. Let's see what it has to say. Good. Okay. Keep HTML data Sorry, yeah, this is what I wanted to. Hmm. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's copy paste everything. Okay, so what do? You first have a type theme, makes sense. And okay, either it's light or it's dark. Um, in here, this is a theme. You take this, the theme, you toggle the theme. Doesn't take in anything, I believe. Yeah, it just returns file. Then you created this thing. And then you did this. Okay, read once synchronously. So Paint uses a first write theme. Okay. Function get initial theme. Right. And it needs to return a theme. So what does it do? It tries to say local storage.get item theme as theme or not. Okay. Why do you have a catch expression? I don't know. If save is equal to light or this thing, return save. Else, return light as. That's all. That's all. In here, you do have a theme. And then in here, you say get initial theme. That's pretty much it. In the use effect, if I do this, document element dot set attribute um, data theme as. Okay. Local storage dot set theme as. Okay, cool. In here, what are you talking about? The const value is use memo. And it depends on theme. So if theme changes, it changes. So in here, you have theme, have the set theme, and then you have a toggle theme, which is okay. So you get the previous. If previous is equal to light, you give back dark, or you give back light. And then in here, you give the value. Hmm. Okay, so now you created a. Oh wow, I am sorry. A firecracker is going on somewhere. Okay, yeah. So in here, we don't need to do this. We can just go to header.tsx. In here, uh, fonts theme, toggle theme is, use theme. So I'm gonna first look at it. Oh, I have to do it in this way. Okay, I have to do it in this way. Where you're saying data. Acha, I didn't know this part. So I think this is more like a selector. So you can give it a certain attribute and it will select on that particular part which says this. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, cool. So one thing we're gonna do here is the first thing is we have to wrap this particular image in a button, right? So because I want you to click on it, right? And class name theme toggle button. On click, you just give that. And there is also some ARIA level which is toggle theme. Okay, cool. So source is gonna be theme is if it's light, then you're gonna show. Wait a second. Yeah, I messed that up almost. Yeah, so in here, icon. In here, if the theme is light, show the moon or show the sun. So you don't have the sun. Because, yeah. That seems like, yeah. Vibe coding. Yeah, so this thing is wrong, and we can simply say where is the button, theme toggle button. So we can go to header.css, and somewhere here in the theme container, display, and it should be gone. No. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to. Okay, so we'll fix that later on. Before that, I want to go here, and I want to take this part, and I want to say root data theme equals light. is this. And in here, this has to be dark. There are some morons outside who are like blasting it away. But let's do this red for now. Okay, let's just do this red for now. And you have everything. If I just click on this, it doesn't do anything. Okay, doesn't do anything. My bad, because it's this. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's working. Okay, cool. Let's quickly see exactly how I can, let's exactly how I can do the same on the other side. Okay. So the main background is 121286, which here on the colors is 1826. This is correct. So your main background, this. Holy shit, this morons are. Okay, the accent color I think is gonna be the same. Is it not? Is it not? Let's see. Two zero. Okay, let's first compare this. The secondary background color is something that we have to first change. If I go here, if I say pick, if I say this guy, 212936. 212936. So this has to be this. Yeah. Yeah. The accent color, I believe. Sorry. The accent color, I believe. Has to be this, right? I'm not sure what the accent color is. Okay, so let's try and figure it out. Let's try and pick this thing. So this is 4C. Let's just copy paste this guy. And the accent color is gonna be this. Or the dark mode. Yeah, this seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Okay. The text color is gonna be this. And I suppose this can be this. Not exactly sure, but I think it's fair enough. Right, I think it's fair enough. Okay. Now how do I hide the button? What did this guy do? Wait a second. This itself is a theme container? Okay, this itself is a theme container. That is also, I think, doable. So we can say this is a theme container, remove the div, and that's pretty much it. And in here, I go and click on this. Good. Only thing pending I personally feel is this thing in here where I need to revert the color of the SVG also. So let's try and see how exactly we can do that. Try and see how exactly we can do that, right? Uh, so I remember once I did this, but I just don't know how I did it. So maybe there is something called they're in here. Sorry, welcome page something. Yeah, so there's this welcome page right here, and okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Logo. The color for the image upload text needs to depend on the theme. I consume an SVG like this. Header. How can I make it dynamic? How come you? Yes. So edit the SVG. Only the word image upload part needs to change color. So in your SVG, change this to fill colors to current color. Makes sense. Quick fix, find fill and replace with current. Import as SVG. I do not want to do this. I know that SVGR is a plugin, but I really do not want to do this. What is the second? Quick and dirty. Export two SVGs from. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. So this is light, and mm, move logo to logo. Right. Still works. Yes. And in here, logo dot svg. Logo dot svg is so the question is, what is the color that we have to give? Good question. And in here we can simply say pick the color. We can simply copy paste this guy. Plugin. Does the file? Yeah, it does exist. Oh, because I moved it. Okay. I mean, you know. I think this was 1, 2. You can, you know, go to image upload. GitHub React image upload. In here you have the resources, in here you have the logo, and there you can find it. I want the raw image. Owner of good. Can I edit this? One, 2, 1, 8, 6. So now click on this. Yeah. But I mean that's fine, right? Because light logo and this is dark logo. My bad. It has to be dark. And then in here image logo, so theme is dark, is light. I give the light logo or else you give the dark logo. It's pretty much it what you want to do. And then if you keep on switching, this I feel works fine, except the fact that there is nothing in here. So I'm gonna remove that app.css. I'm gonna remove that border shadow thing, box shadow thing. So yeah, looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me. Yeah. So again, this is a 16 by 16 cross 9 thingy, and your image would be somewhere inside of it, right, and not outside of it. Yeah. So let's do the other way around, where I have this thing. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. So in here, my question is, oh, this didn't change at all. And I believe it didn't change because did we hard-code it? Secondary text color. So secondary text color changed for me. Did it change? It feels it changed, yeah. So do we use secondary text color in many places? Just in a single place. So I'm gonna keep it like this for now. And does it look the same? Yeah. I believe the weight needs to come down a little bit. Just gonna do 500. Yeah. This is fine, honestly, in my opinion. This is fine. Yeah, it looks fine, I suppose. The only thing I'm concerned about right now is size, because people do send different sizes, different dimensions. So how do you make sure that it is within that particular thing, right? But anyways, I think we did quite some good progress in here. Specifically, we created the design for the basic UI in here. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a commit, and let's see. Okay, so you have front end ignore, readme, ESLint config, HTML package, lock, logo, icons, assets. Okay, so I'm just gonna put in front end readme. I'm gonna delete that. So I don't know if you know this trick. So if there's a folder, it would wrap the folder. It would not collapse the folder, but I do want to see what it's ignoring, what it's not. So you can say u. I'm not quite sure what exactly it means. Show untracked files. The mode parameter is used to, I don't know what is but not is handling of untracked is optional to default all stuck. Okay. Okay. The possible options are no, normal. If you do not give anything, I think it shows everything. So you can say you all, you can say you know, so show no track files and all of that. Untracked files and directories are shown to help you avoid forgetting to add newly created blah blah blah. Anyways, I don't know if you guys can hear, but my cat is damn loud. Cat is damn loud. Anyways, sorry. Coming back to the point, so hit SQ. So this is a trick that I use because I need to see exactly what files are being added and what are not being. It looks like everything is good. Scaffold the front end for desktop. Okay. And that's basically it. So yeah, I create this, create that, blah blah blah, and all of that. So now I need to know how to exactly use React drop zone. Okay. So it's a simple React hook to create an HTML5 compliant drag and drop zones for files. Documentation is available at here. Install it with npm and include it in your React build process. Save React drop zone. You can either use the hook. So use drop zone. Okay. Sorry. You use callback and stuff like that, and then you just okay. OnDrop is a function, I remember. Or you use the wrapper component. So you say OnDrop accepted files, blah blah blah. It's the section, input, drag and drop, and all of that. If you want to access the file contents, you have to use the file reader API, which makes sense because you're trying to read the contents. I don't want to do that in this particular thing in here, right? What I want to do is I do want to create this. But this thing looks easier, right? This thing looks easier. Just a second. I have got okay, I think I have to stop my stream right now. There is something important which I just got message on, but I mean, yeah, it's a good progress for today, I think. And yeah, it's a good progress for today. I think we did something good. The UI is done. Again, tomorrow I will be yeah, so tomorrow I will be trying to stream again, and again the goal of tomorrow would be to complete this particular application and integrate with UI and all of that. So over the weekend I'm hoping so this application is done and I can deploy it on a server. I don't know if I will ever stream deployment because I'll deploy it on Azure, so I have to see how to actually mask things out if I have to, or what it shows on the UI and things like that. So I haven't still figured that part out. I'll see and I'll think about it. And the second part is that, yeah, from this use case, I think it was a good learning of basic CSS and all of that, basic CSS and all of that. Like, I have done these things a couple of times, but I keep forgetting. So it's all about practice, I personally believe, where you can figure out your like your CSS and all that. It's more about being hands-on and practice. Um, the second thing is, yeah, the other thing is basically where I'm gonna try and figure out that if you can, like, how do you start working with the backend APIs? So things like that. And if I have some time, maybe I'll learn a little bit of Terraform. That is also one more thing I always wanted to do. But let's see, not quite sure. So yeah, I'm gonna log off for today. Thank you everyone for who joined. Thank you everyone. If you like my content, do consider putting in a sub. Do consider, giving me a thumbs up. I am going to stream a lot more. Again, I say I plan to create videos, but it's not that easy. And I'm gonna create videos on things related to more development oriented, more little bit designs, DSA, and simply my opinions, I guess. Right. But in general, I'm gonna keep on continuing streaming because this is one of the ways where I can document how I progress over the years, and keep track of, um, like, if I'm actually progressing or not. It's very honestly speaking. And during that journey, if people join along, it would be great. Learning is like sharing is always better. Learning together is always better because people have a lot of opinions, and people might know about things which I'm not aware. I might tell things which people are not aware, right? So that way it becomes a more collaborative growth and learning. Again, this is more fun sessions for me, but I'll try to learn. The main idea is not that you grind and hustle. It's more like, okay, you enjoy the process of dev, you enjoy the process of creating something as simple as, hello world. I still enjoy creating very simple hello words in some new language that I learn, right? I just absolutely love that hello world coming on the terminal. But yeah, if you like the content, do consider leaving a sub. Do consider sharing it with your friends, or sharing with people who might be more interested in this kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you so much. And bye bye, good night, and I'll see you till next one. Bye bye. Have a good one.